Hi, y'all. So I decided that I was going to start doing vlogs, and I'm going to do vlogs on recording my healing process and my healing journey from narcissistic relationships and toxic relationships that I have been in over my life. So I just got through reading and finishing up this awesome book. Make sure I get the author's name in there. So, this book, I'm going to give a short snippet of a review. This book not only talks about narcissism as what it is and all of the characteristics and how you can pinpoint it, but it also covers how you, being the victim in it, can survive it, can get out of it, and how you thrive after. So I like it because it covers everything as far as narcissism. It doesn't just tell you what it is, so you have information just to take in, but you also have a defense on what to do next. So anyway, so this is going to be my first clip on my healing journey, and I decided to document it in vlogs because people like video now. So that's what people respond to faster. So I figured, hey, I'll jump on here from time to time to kind of tell you how my journey is going. One of the things that I notice in forums or just communities surrounding domestic violence is that there's a lot of shame and a lot of hush or victim blaming. So to kind of like break through those walls, I figured I can put myself out there to just share my particular journey on how it's going. So one of the things I want to talk about today is that it is a journey. That was the hardest part I had to understand and grasp, and I'm still working on that because that's one of the hardest things for me, because once I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. But the hardest part for me is that if it feels like it's taking too long or that it's not working, because you don't get those instant gratifications. So with a healing journey, some things are going to be instant and some things are going to take more patience. But the biggest part of this is learning to do self-care, learning to have self-love and building your self-care, your self-love, your self-worth, your self-esteem, all back up again. And I already have a blog that I've written out at the beginning of some of my older relationships that I'm going to add to as well. So this is going to be kind of like not just my healing journey, but the process after. So it's going to be a chapter into kind of what got me here, what led up to it. So some of my history is already on the blog, No Longer Silent. If you haven't tuned to that, I will tag you in this as well. I will tag that in there rather, so that you can read up on that and kind of have like some outlook on some of the things I faced over the few years. But what my biggest thing was, I wanted to break the 16-year cycle of being in toxic relationships. Just the last few were narcissistic, but altogether toxic. And so going through this for 16 years and having different experiences each time has been daunting and has been affecting my life and my children. So the biggest thing is seeing my kids go through it and having to deal with their issues on top of my decisions, even though the decisions I made unknowingly. So the indirect effect was a push for me to know that I had to do healing, absolutely. That I had to heal completely, because not only was I going to keep the cycle going, but it was never going to stop. It was going to trickle down to my kids and to their kids and to other kids. And just, it was going to continue for generation after generation. So just going through and having my own traumas and watching them go through their own traumas, and having my personal healing journey and watching them go through their healing journey. So looking at it as a parent, not only was it something I didn't want to pass to my kids, but I knew that it was a must. It was one of the things that I had to grasp completely and wholly in order to move forward to be healthy. So this time around, I have grasped the fact that not only do I play a part in a cycle, but it can be broken. It can stop. And I say this thing to my kids that it stops here, it stops now. and it stops with our lineage. So it's a journey for sure, but I have support. I have things that I do to help with the healing journey. Like I said, I just finished that book and I'm about to start another one. And some tips that I just started was yoga and CBT. And CBT is cognitive behavior therapy, which this book talks about as well. So it's different things that you do, whatever's tailored to your personality, whatever's tailored, what's going to work for you. Because what I've learned in this healing journey as well is that some things don't work out at first. So that's fine because that's a part of learning. So I've kind of had to play around with things and see what will work for me the best. And it's all a part about learning yourself. That's the biggest thing I'm learning in this whole thing, that I've made the decision to learn Ashley all over again. So I'm getting to know who I am from my eyes versus like looking through my kids' eyes or being the wife, the mom, the entrepreneur, all these other titles, but actually looking at who I am. So this is very raw, but I know that my objective in the end is to be able to help other people like me in the future. But I know that before I can do that fully on the scale that I want to do it in, I have to go through my healing journey. And I want to be able to pop on here from time to time and talk about that and talk about the challenges that I face and how I get through them, and just be as raw as possible, because what I learned is that we love people that are authentic. And I know I do, because I'm an authentic person all around. Anybody that knows me can pretty much tell you I'm the same no matter what. I'm a huge people lover, So one thing I've had to learn to do, for starters, is the self-care, the self-love, and incorporating exercise in the yoga CBT book that I have. And the other thing was to stop people pleasing. So although I'm on here and I'm in my pajamas, I just figure people like raw. I don't have to get on here and be fake. I don't have to hold up any standards, but just be Ashley. And that's okay. So this is my first video, and I'm hoping to shed a light on narcissistic personality disorder and the domestic violence misconception. So it'll be a lot of what I'll call chats with Ash, which is going to be a hashtag to look out for. And I'll just be doing a lot of that, just conversations about things that are uneasy or things that are taboo that kind of get either laughed at or looked over in the community. And if we don't bring awareness to stuff, it's just going to continue on. So I figured I will be the one to have these conversations that nobody wants to have. And what I want to do is not just have the conversation and be on here and it be a vlog, but to actually start a conversation. I want it to be something that the hashtag continues on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, all those social platforms. So I'm going to start the conversation, and I want people to be able to chime in, whether it's on Facebook or wherever I share it at. I want to have that conversation all over those platforms. And I'm also going to be uploading to my Instagram TV, which is a great thing that I love that I added. So I'm playing around with that too. So you'll see a lot of my stories. Either I'm going to be singing or cleaning or doing this. So that's my life. And that's kind of what I want to do, is be raw and have you kind of like look into my life a little bit. So that when all this comes to fruition, you'll see that it was a journey. It wasn't, I just walked out and I became famous for helping whatever that is. Not that that's what I'm looking for it to be. But when I do get to the end result, there'll be a journey. There'll be like a process that you can see that I've walked through. And that helps more, seeing that I have actually walked where you are versus I'm just a person standing on the stage telling you what to do to get better. So you'll be able to see that it's something that I did myself, that I did all the things that I'll be telling you to do. So this is just a baby step, because eventually I want to have a book. I want to have ebooks. I want to be able to speak across the whole world, and not just speak, but bring a community together on the same cause, and then help out with coaching and everything else. But those are my end goals. So right now it's just focusing on Ashley, which I've never done in all my life, and breaking the 16-year cycle. So I look forward to doing more videos and jumping on here more often. I'm testing out these speakers, so let me know if you can hear me and all that good stuff. But I'll see y'all later.